I've been living alcohol-free for over a year now, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 simple things that changed everything for me, making it actually doable to stick with it for that long. Number 4 is a doozy, so stick around, and number 5 is arguably the most important for being able to stick with this choice for a long period of time. So the first tip is that I treated myself with positive things. What do I mean by this? We humans are, at the end of the day, creatures of reward and motivation cycles. And so whenever I would hit a small milestone of a period of time that I'd stuck alcohol free for, I would reward myself with something I wanted. Personally, I love massages. I don't get massages that often because they're expensive and I don't always need them. But especially in that early stage, I got a couple of massages every now and then whenever I'd hit a bigger period of alcohol-free time. And I think this is important because you want to reward yourself. Obviously, there are rewards that come with being alcohol-free, of course, or else I would talk about it and a lot of people wouldn't do it. But there are amazing rewards that come, but some of those rewards come over time. And so you want to make sure that in the short term, you see a reward for this choice. When you can be dealing with potential social anxiety and other things, you want to add in a positive. And so that's why giving yourself a reward can be great. That could be something as simple as, a sweet treat, a massage. If you go to a bar and you see a non-alcoholic drink that you want that's more expensive than maybe you'd want to spend, just treating yourself so you can have something that's not alcohol, I think is important. Number 2 is that I filled the void of not drinking with other things. Something I think a lot of people fall victim to is they will stop drinking, and then in all those other situations moving forward where they would have been drinking, they kind of are floundering and don't know what to do with themselves. And this is super natural, especially if drinking is something that really imbues your social circle and what you're used to in terms of interacting with people. That when you stop drinking, whether it's that you didn't go to an event where everyone was drinking or you didn't go out to the bar, or you went but you just didn't drink and you kind of felt awkward being in that situation, I think that's a difficult place to sit. But if you introduce other elements of adventure into your life, and by adventure I mean challenges or goals or literal adventure where you go off and do things, then that can be an amazing replacement. You want to find things to add to your life when you remove alcohol so that it nets back to, neutral, versus removing alcohol and then feeling like you have less than you did before. And one of the beauties of removing alcohol is that it creates space for something else that's better and more productive for you, but you have to be intentional about adding that in versus just thinking that something is going to fall into place. The third thing is that I explored many non-alcoholic options. This goes for beers, wines, spirits, just non-alcoholic alternatives that aren't really in any of those categories. There is so much out there nowadays. You can go, they have literal non-alcoholic stores that sell only non-alcoholic options, but even in most big grocery stores now, there's non-alcoholic sections, and most places, restaurants, bars, will have at least one non-alcoholic thing on their menu. I really enjoy non-alcoholic drinks. I think it's a lot of fun to try different ones, try a mocktail, try a new beer that I haven't tried before. I understand these are not for everyone, but I think for people who are looking to get away from alcohol because of a social crutch situation, not because of an alcoholism problem, I think they're a great replacement because they still allow you to have all those great social benefits and have something in your hand and not have to actually be drinking alcohol. Diving with 2 feet into this space to have fun with it, try different options, see what you like, see what you don't like, makes it a lot more enjoyable and makes going out to bars more fun and more exciting because you can see what's on their NA menu and try different things versus looking at it like this thing that you have to get because you can't get what you really want. And so I think that shift in perspective can be really beneficial. So number 4, which I said before was going to be a doozy, is that I had to accept that change was inevitable and it was going to be uncomfortable. Naturally, when you stop drinking, it changes certain relationships you have, it changes certain social dynamics you're used to, and it changes what you might want to or might not want to do on your free time and on your weekends. And this is natural, and it's honestly good because it makes space for things that you do want to do and that are more authentic to you. But you have to understand that that process over time will be different than what you're used to. And change is hard. People always talk about change being hard, but it's also, there's no other way to grow than to change. And so I think once I just fully accepted change is going to happen, it might be uncomfortable, but it's for the best, it made navigating those changes a lot easier. And it made it more interesting in that I knew that what I was growing into, even if I couldn't see the full form yet, I knew that it was going to be something that benefited me better than my prior drinking self. And the fifth thing is that I shaped my mental environment by consuming a lot of sober and non-alcoholic content online. And this is something that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, has a big impact on your ability to maintain your choice of living an alcohol-free lifestyle. And that's because I believe environment is everything. If you choose to be alcohol-free, but 100% of the time you're surrounded by people who drink and who always talk about drinking and tell you should be drinking, eventually you will fade and you will crack, because you can only have so much willpower and motivation. But if you're surrounded by people who don't drink, and whether that's in your physical circle with the people you actually spend time with, or the people you spend mental time with and energy with via your online community and people you follow and listen to, then those people will motivate you to continue to not drink. There are so many pages online, different influencers, different channels like this one, where you can go and hear about being an alcoholic and the challenges you'll face and the ways to get over it and all the benefits you get and the people whose journeys you might be able to connect to. And that is so, so powerful to know that you're not alone with a lot of the things that you're probably facing. Like when I first started to not drink, I didn't know if I was feeling things that other people had never felt, or if it was just super natural for the point of the journey I was at to be feeling. And so I would go online, I'd go on Instagram, I'd follow hashtags like stop drinking, sober life, non-alcoholic, and I would just watch videos and read blog posts and, do all that stuff to see like, okay, no, what I'm feeling is normal. Reshaping your mental environment is key, and finding that community, finding that information online, but also finding that community is key as well. So those are the 5 things that made the transition to a non-alcoholic lifestyle a lot easier for me. If this video was helpful or you connected in any way, please subscribe to the channel for more non-alcoholic and sober curious content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.